let's see. So this is kind of a big question. How can users effectively use AI technologies to investigate reality without making them passive followers of other people's beliefs, lifestyles, and understanding? This kind of ties into the example you just.
Yeah, I love that question. I love that question. So what does it say is this? You see, every advancement of humanity brings us new opportunities and new challenges. Let me give you an example. Sometime in the middle of the 20th century, we discovered the energy that can be released from atomic power by fusion or fission of atoms together. Subatomic particles will be released and energy will be released. So we discovered that you can extract energy, and that was the whole story behind the Manhattan Project and the movie of that name and so forth. All right. So humanity quickly realized that this is an order of magnitude more power than we had before, maybe multiple orders of magnitude higher. Before we had some means of war, guns and bullets and torpedoes, but now we have something that is 1,000 times more powerful. Before we could kill onesies and twosies and maybe tens and twenties. Now we can obliterate an entire city. And when atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, humanity woke up to the reality of a power that can obliterate entire cities, entire communities and societies in a flash of a second. So it provided an opportunity and it provided a warning. The warning was that this cannot be in the hand of every non thinking individual or every egotistical dictator. And so, human society, which was always fragmented in nations, before that we were families and tribes and city states, but then we had reached the 20th century with lots of nations, nation building. It became very clear that national sovereignty and atomic power together don't go together very well. So humanity came together, maybe unwillingly even. I mean, unknowingly, but by force of circumstances, came together and said, no, we need a non-proliferation treaty, and we need those few countries that have access to nuclear, to the atomic power, is to regulate that and make sure that it does not proliferate, does not go in the hands of other people. And for 70 years, we've had more or less peace. We've not had another third world war, thanks to this mutually assured destruction that comes from nuclear power. But then there's the good side of it. Nuclear power can generate electricity. You can have, and with proper design, you can have nuclear power. And many countries now use nuclear power as the source of their energy. It has its own downside. But what is the lesson we learned? The lesson is this: that science and technology has given us nuclear power. We need guardrails to make sure that it is used properly. That's
Mm.
an opportunity that helped humanity move beyond sovereignty of statehood to collaborative, um, binding agreements among nations. So we are going beyond national sovereignty to global governance. And then from that, other global governance came. United Nations came, and the Convention on Human Rights came. So there are many things now that are global, including our love for planet Earth. How to preserve the planet Earth is a global phenomenon. You cannot do it under national sovereignty. So to come back to your question, you said, how can users effectively use AI technologies to investigate reality
Mhm.
without making them passive followers of people's beliefs, lifestyles, and understanding? Great. So we need those guardrails. And those guardrails are not only some regulation that governments put, but through education. We can teach every child of the next generation that when you grow up, the society in which you live will have AI in it.
Mm.
educate them on how to use it, how to regulate it, where to put guardrails, where to make sure that our discovery of AI does not disintegrate human society, because it will be capable. Let me give you one last example. Internet was invented first in the US military, and then the first World Wide Web was created, the first browser was created in 1994, so just before the 21st century, the first browsers. And then web browsers enable us to connect everything together. Oh, wow, what a new power. Even before mobile phones came, on my computer, desktop computers, I could connect to another computer in China or in Africa or in Latin America and learn what those people have to say. We no longer need to travel to other universities and try to get their catalog of courses on paper to read what it is that they are teaching. We can go to their website and see all of that. Okay, that's the power that are connected. Then what happened? Then social media came. Right? We learned how to do something with Facebook and something with Instagram and all kinds of social media. Now people could produce stuff. And what did they produce? Unregulated. They produce all kinds of harmful things, from pornography all the way down to online gambling. All kinds of harmful things was created. Why? Because there are no guardrails on the internet. So then, what is the solution? Educate our own children. If you have a 13-year-old daughter, make sure that 13-year-old daughter does not become a victim of Instagram images. That you can do. And that's why the responsibility is now not on some big government, but on all families, individuals, families, communities, society, neighborhoods. That's why the Baha'i Faith emphasizes development at the level of a village, development at the level of a neighborhood. Why? Because education will help us navigate our way through social media. Now, what will happen to the next generation? The next generation will have AI in it. So we will have to teach them from early ages how to navigate their way, and they themselves bring the guardrail. They themselves bring what is appropriate and inappropriate. They use their own mental powers, their own judgment, their own value systems, and those value systems should be based on oneness of mankind, justice for all, a balance of powers between the individual, communities, and institutions, an understanding of a twofold moral purpose, that I need to improve myself, but I also need to contribute to the advancement of society. The understanding that the welfare of the individual is intimately related to the welfare of society. The understanding that science and religion should go hand in hand with harmony. Science gives rise to technology, religion gives rise to ethics, and so ethics and technology need to be together. So these kind of basic value systems creates a framework, a conceptual framework within which we can act and live. So we have to educate our next generation about these conceptual frameworks, and having a formal educational system that integrates this is indispensable.
My internet, it looks like it's having a little bit of trouble. But I'm so glad you brought up the framework. I was going to say it sounds like a framework, what you're mentioning, all these principles. So